And I just want to say this to y'all. When they raided my houses and my property, they was asking about Wack. Wack, loose cannon, 600, and this internet stuff.
Damn, triple
Because
OG.
been 3 years. You ain't going to court because you was going to court.
Triple OG.
Every time you go to court, they gonna let us know you going to court. So
I can't go to court for immigration if I got an open gun
what
case.
about the gun case, bull?
I can't go to court for immigration if I got an open gun case.
They will give you your time.
Wack that told him that though. Because his statement in there.
Wack 100's been out here yelling snitch like it's his personal anthem. But now, a leaked wiretap with 21 Savage's name on it just flipped everything upside down. People are pulling out that dusty 2005 federal gun case like it just dropped yesterday. But here's where it gets crazy. What if Wack's been playing both sides this whole time? Picture this, he's out here nonstop pointing fingers, clowning people for being rats. Then out of nowhere, he pulls out his wallet, and boom, something flashes real quick. Was that a badge? That tiny flash might have just spilled the whole secret.
Wack that told him that though. Because his statement in there.
Some folks are whispering Wack told on himself without even realizing it. And believe it or not, that ain't even the juiciest part. Word on the street, that wiretap might have come from 21 Savage himself. Not some repost, not some blog. People saying he's the one who let it fly, like he'd been holding it for just the right time. And honestly, who could blame him? Wack's been throwing shade at 21 for years, calling him a snitch, saying he cut deals with ICE to clean up his papers, even dragging him into that messy YSL drama. But 21, he stayed cool, real quiet. Just a few little jabs here and there, but mostly silence, until now. If he really dropped that wiretap, that wasn't pettiness. That was pure chess. After years of Wack sneak dissing him all over Clubhouse, 21 finally hit back. No words needed. That silence, loud. Now, if you line it all up, it's looking like Wack been running a whole play, throwing dirt on everybody just to keep people from looking too close at him. Every time someone's in trouble, he's already online screaming like he's got insider info, acting like he's just exposing folks, but maybe he's just trying to stay a step ahead. And check this. This ain't the first time someone's tied Wack to the feds. A few months back, Big U got hit with them heavy RICO charges, but before the arrest, before the headlines, before the paperwork even dropped, Wack was already reaching out to Big U's wife with some urgent message. Something like 911, he got a dip now. Like how he know the raid was coming before it happened. That's not help. That's a warning shot, a setup in disguise. It's like he knew the whole play because he made the call. And then right after Big U got picked up, Wack jumped online talking wild, flipping the script like it was nothing. He started saying Big U was the one moving shady, claimed he had a BlackBerry using it to chat with the feds. But instead of clearing his own name, all that did was make folks side-eye Wack even harder.
I just want to say this to y'all. When they raided my houses and my property, they was asking about Wack. Wack, loose cannon, 600, and this internet stuff.
For real, how is Wack always in the know, always caught up in the drama, but never the one getting booked? That call to Big U's wife didn't sound like he was trying to help. It sounded like a trap. It was looking like a double play, like Wack warned the same dude he secretly helped line up, staying just close enough to the smoke to feel the heat, without catching the burn himself.
All right, so yeah, after you got that message, after you got the message, you hit up Big U's wife. You said, sis, 911. 1 sec, let me get solo. And you gave him a heads up.
What I tell him?
You said, 1 sec, let me get solo. He needs to leave. Bad. In caps, all caps. He needs to leave.
I said so bad, right?
Yeah, so bad.
That's when folks really started giving Wack the side eye. Maybe he ain't the street watchdog he swears he is. Maybe he's been running a whole different hustle this entire time, but this shady trail. It didn't start yesterday. We're talking way back, 2005 kind of back. That year, Wack 100 and his brother got pulled over in Texas. At first, nothing major, just a speeding stop. Cops walk up, hit him with the usual questions. Wack says they're on the way to a funeral in Oklahoma, but then the cops ask to search the ride. Wack says no, so boom, but they bring in the K9s, and next thing you know, the dog sniffs out a whole stash. A loaded shotgun, a rifle, and a pistol all tucked in the car. Now here's what don't add up. Wack and his brother were already convicted felons. That's automatic federal time, no debate. You don't walk away from that. Charges like that can crush a rap career before it even gets started. But somehow, Wack made bail, Hopped on a flight back to LA like it was just another regular day. No stress, that don't sit right. Then boom, silence for 2 whole years. No court updates, no trial, nothing. And out of nowhere, the whole case just disappears and dismissed. But not because of no lack of evidence or some sloppy legal mistake. Nah, the official reason? In the interest of justice. Nah, come on, if you know how the system really works, especially with felons caught with loaded weapons, you already know that line don't just pop up by accident. That's not mercy, that's a move. Interest of justice usually means someone gave something up. Later on, Wack tried to flip the story. Said it all got tossed because the search was illegal. But that's straight cap. Court docs were out in the open and they said nothing about no bad search. It was a clean dismissal. No drama, no explanation, just gone. But yo, here's the part that makes it real shady. The timing.
Going through it. I said, yeah, I don't know nothing about this. He said, man, y'all too tight. I see Big U's signature. I see other signatures. I'm reading it. And what shook me was the police issued device to communicate with law enforcement in form of a BlackBerry.
Not long after that case disappeared, Suge Knight, Wack's former boss at Death Row, started catching serious heat from the feds. Hollywood Reporter said Suge's name showed up in a gang injunction. His crew got lit up with raids, wiretaps, and paperwork. Names were flying. But guess who was nowhere to be found? Wack 100. Not one single mention, not a whisper. When Suge's people were going down, Wack was invisible on all the documents. Then came that wild kidnapping case tied to Shaq. Yeah, the one involving the Main Street Crips. Court transcripts said someone named Back was making shady calls and leaving messages. And word on the street? Back was just Wack with a disguise. Fast forward to now, and Wack's all over the internet pointing fingers at everybody. Gunna, BG, Brick Baby, 21 Savage, even Jay Diggs. Nobody's off limits when Wack's got something to say, acting like he sets the rules for who's real and who's not. But let's keep it real. That 2005 case, it don't match the image he's selling. You don't just walk away from a federal gun bust, 3 loaded weapons as a convicted felon, unless you either got crazy miracle level luck or you gave up something real big. Now nearly 20 years later, a new video surfaces. And what do people catch on camera? A flash of a police ID in Wack's wallet. Just for a second, but it was enough to bring everything back into question. That badge, that flash, it lit up the one question everybody been scared to ask. What did Wack trade to walk away so clean? It's wild, cause Wack built his whole rep off one word, snitch. That's his favorite move. Every time a rapper gets booked or signs a plea, he's on Clubhouse shouting they folded, did it with Gunna too, claimed he had a whole 2-hour interrogation video and even threatened to leak it if Gunna didn't come clean.
You some time, I don't know, 24 hours, 12 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 1 hour, I don't know. I'm gonna give you some time though, Gunna, for you to go ahead on and confess.
But guess what? He never dropped it. Just ran his mouth and kept folks guessing. He even went after BG, a dude who already sat down for over a decade behind bars, claiming he snitched, but never once showed proof. No paperwork, no nothing. And BG's own former cellmate stepped up and said, BG stood tall, never folded. But Wack didn't care. He kept talking like he had the receipts, when he really had nothing. To the casual crowd, yeah, he sounds like he's got a code, like he's living by some street honor. But the ones really paying attention, they peep the pattern real quick. Wack gets the loudest right when the heat's on him. Every time things start closing in, he flips the spotlight, starts pointing fingers in every direction except his own. But here's what really makes it sketchy. Wack records every conversation. That's not how real ones operate. You don't hit record unless you're planning to pull that card later, or worse, hand it off. That ain't loyalty. That's set up behavior straight up. Folks are catching on too. Some of the same rappers Wack hyped up on Clubhouse, they ended up catching cases after saying way too much. Like Loose Cannon said, went on there, started talking reckless, and boom, caught up not long after. Was that just bad luck, or did Wack line it up from the jump? Now people are starting to ask the real questions. Was Wack luring folks onto Clubhouse on purpose, getting them loose, fired up so they'd say too much, then flipping those convos into viral clips while prosecutors just sat back and watched? It's all feeling way too organized. From how he stirs drama with folks, gets them to argue, then magically leaks drop right when it helps him most. Look, it might not all be hard proof, but the pattern is screaming loud. When you really zoom out and follow the timeline, things get suspicious fast. That leaked badge video? Yeah, that blew things up. But this fire's been burning for years. Since that clean 2005 gun case vanishing into thin air, since Wack magically knew about a Rico raid before the feds pulled up, since his name got whispered in wiretaps, since he started recording people like it was part of the plan. This ain't some sloppy clout chasing, so it's calculated. And the more people start rewinding the tapes, the more it's looking like Wack's been hiding in plain sight all along. Now here's where it gets even crazier. Wack been calling everybody a snitch. Gunna, BG, 21, Brick Baby, Jay Diggs, everybody. But if they really flipped, where's the paperwork? And where's the trail? Because the only name that keeps popping up when cases get dropped and charges vanish is Wack's. So now people are asking, is he exposed, or do the feds already know everything about him? That's the part that makes this whole thing different. It ain't just about proving if Wack's a fed. It's about what it means if he really is. What does that say about all these years of street stories, all these platforms giving him a mic, hyping him up like he's a real one? People used to joke like it was some wild conspiracy, but it ain't funny no more. Not when real lives are getting twisted behind the scenes by shady moves and backdoor plays. Wack's been the loudest voice calling people snitches for years. But now, folks are starting to wonder, was the real snitch the one yelling the loudest this whole time? If he was wired from the jump, if Wack been moving from the inside all along, then the street game ain't just compromised. It's been straight tainted for years. And the wildest part, he ain't hiding. He's still out here talking loud, stirring chaos like it's business as usual. But whatever he says next, that might be the final spark that blows this whole thing wide open. If you rocked with this breakdown, don't forget to like, drop a comment, share it with your crew, and of course, hit that subscribe because you don't want to miss what's coming next. Catch you on the next one.